Your mother wants to go out and eat, by the way, so just
whatever, man. Show's starting.
yeah.
Hey, everybody! It's the Jimmy Doane Show. We do this live twice a week, right here, Sunday and Wednesday, 4 o'clock Eastern Stupid Time, which is what we are on now, as of last night. So, welcome to the show. You can find us in video format if you search around the web for Doane, D-O-A-N-E, Jimmy, or just look over here to the right and you'll see YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. That's where we do the videos. You can find us in audio format at Libsyn, Apple, Amazon, Google, SoundCloud, Spotify, and a bunch of other ones. And we got shows going back decades, so really hard to believe. Anyway,
We got them back going 2 years now, don't we?
well, yeah, for this particular, for the video here,
Right.
yeah. But we actually have going back decades for the audio version, our old show, the old show. But this is a new video version, so welcome to the show. You can leave a little comment here for us. I'll try to check back partway through the show and see if there's any comments, see if we can comment on your comments. So we appreciate it. And you can share this around the web if you want with your friends and like, whatever, hit the bell thing. And today is the first day of November. Last show before, this is 2020, last show before the election. So, what is happening?
Okay, what's happening?
Yes.
Well, bad news.
What?
James Bond died.
Oh, yeah.
90 years old, died peacefully here in the Bahamas, had a home in the
Sounds like he was
Bahamas.
killed by a foreign agent.
Well, I thought it was interesting that somebody, I forget who it was, maybe it was Steve Jobs.
The Highlander, what?
Steve Jobs wrote him a letter, 30, 40 years ago, and asked him if he would endorse the Apple II or something like that. He went in an ad, in an ad, and he and Sean, what's his name? He wrote back and said, basically some curse words. I'm not going to do your whatever.
Fuck you, I'm not going to do it.
That's right. I'm James Bond, for God's sakes.
That's
And,
right.
James Bond doesn't do this. So, and I thought it was funny. Signed,
Hey, yeah, that would have been cool to have him whip out the iPhone at the first time. In the,
well, again,
in
it's
the
one of
movie.
these things that he
Product placement there.
But I just thought it was interesting that the letter he wrote back was, as James Bond doesn't do this.
Right, well,
that sort of thing.
There you go. Yeah, he was awesome. Highlander, I mean, obviously, storied career. I read one time that he decided to go into acting to escape the grinding poverty that his family was in at the time.
Yeah.
As when he was a youth or something.
A Ute.
A Ute.
Yeah, he did a couple of other things before he actually got into acting. I forget.
He was in the Mr. Universe contest.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't think he won. But it was back when they didn't really have, big hulking guys in there.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, he was always in good shape. That launched his career in a way.
Yeah, same thing with Arnold.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Only Arnold was hulky,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, one other little tidbit that I want to talk about. People are always asking me about what I'm watching on YouTube.
Oh, they are.
Oh yeah, everybody. I'm deluged with questions.
Okay.
And of course, I keep mentioning different things about West Wing, but I'm not going to talk about West Wing today. There is a series that has just come on YouTube on Family Guy.
Okay.
Now this is with Stewie.
Yeah.
And what they've done is they've separated it out into like anywhere from 5 to 10 minute segments that zero in on one particular aspect.
Okay.
And these are videos that are like, here's what they said about black people. Here's what they said about gay people. Here's
Seth McFarland, man, he's on.
I mean, it is hysterical, and it's stunning to me that this got through the censors. When you look at
I
this,
think he had a whole lot of creative control. I mean, that was.
he might have, but I'll tell you right now, if you want to laugh, if you want to go hysterical, these, and because they're like 10 minutes long, so it's not, this is short, but there must be 40 of them on there, all different categories. And
Maybe I'll sign in as you and check them out.
you go ahead and well, it's on YouTube. Yeah, that's right. Probably YouTube.
Yeah, it would queue them all up for me.
Queue them up. Well, I think that what they do. A lot of times on YouTube, when you watch a bunch of something, there'll be a thing that says 50 more.
Right.
I was watching Luna the other day. She's the one that plays the Gung Yang Mong Gung.
Okay.
Oh, she's a real pretty Korean girl, and she plays this instrument that you've never heard of before. But she plays all the rock song, everything you can imagine.
on the weird.
And this thing is it's this huge huge instrument. Well, it's got like 20 or 30 strings on it, and it's just really a weird sound. And she
rocks.
She rocks. Yeah, she does. And she's been doing it for years. She's got this channel, and she's played I think she played before some baseball game one time or something. But everybody's crazy about her. But it doesn't hurt that she's a fox.
Right.
So that helps too. At any rate.
So check that out.
Check that out. Right. So. But I'm saying that a lot of this stuff, you'll see, it'll say now you have 50 more, and you hit on that, and they'll all be lined up there, and it'll go right down in order. So this with the Seth Family Guy stuff, it'll really hoot. Okay. Interestingly enough, an article in CNN. Okay, this is something.
All the news.
All the news. That's right. It's the opinion. They had an opinion piece from a guy, Scott Jennings, who is an opinion guy at CNN. And the headline.
Not related to Peter Jennings or anything?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But he says Donald Trump deserves a second term.
CNN.
So
this was his resignation.
I think this must have been right. He got it out. I think he got it out just before they axed him.
Right.
Somebody, go to ads. Go to ads.
Today, jumped out of a window.
That's right. That's right. And there was, some definite palm prints on his back, but he jumped.
That's right. He totally jumped.
That's right. So anyway, he said what his thing is. And of course, this is interesting. As you know, this is our last. The next time we are here will be Wednesday at 4:00. And
provided the Earth is still here.
That's right.
On this particular axis.
Here's the question. The question. Before I finish this.
Strap yourselves in.
Strap yourselves in. Will the election be decided by then? 4:00 Wednesday. That's
4 o'clock Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. That's a long.
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no.
Yeah.
I think
I think there's going to be a holdup in at least one state. I think there'll be a holdup in one state and a fake holdup in another or two.
Well,
and by fake, I mean temporary.
Unless it's in Florida, you got. I mean, if it's holdup in Nevada, who cares?
No, that's what I mean. It'll be one of the contested states. But
that's not going to put him over 270 or not. I mean, you can go to 270 without Nevada.
Yeah, but not without, like you said, Florida or Pennsylvania or Virginia or North Carolina there's several, Ohio.
I know.
There's a bunch of big states that could make the difference.
I agree. I agree.
So
I mean, they've already given up on New York and California, but the rest of them are in play.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because today the Trumpster is doing 5.
Wow.
5. I mean. The stamina of this guy is unbelievable. Yeah. I just, Ms. Jimmy, of course.
He's using doubles.
Huh?
He's using doubles.
Yeah, right. That's right.
They found somebody who looked just like him.
That's right. Right. That's what.
And acts like him.
And acts like him. That's right. And talks like him.
Right.
And says all the same stuff. No, it's a
hologram.
It's a hologram. That's
exactly right. Goes to one place and does them all simultaneously.
Oh my God! It's just unbelievable.
Green screen. Can't you see the fuzz?
Yeah, the fuzz. That's right. No, it's interesting because he's a couple of places were close enough where they had to land at an airport and then motorcade in, and then another one they took the helicopter from one place to the next, Marine One or whatever it is. But
I mean, look at this. You can see just to give people an idea of what he's going into. This is Pennsylvania, and I mean, look at the beautiful, background here. Let me just see it. Where the heck is it?
Anytime.
Yeah. Well, don't worry.
Dead air.
No. It's all. You focus on the net. Here it is. I thought I titled it Trump, not Pennsylvania. Look at this beautiful shot they get through as the sun sets. Just massive crowd here.
Unbelievable.
It looks like, it's like a concert. It's like a rock concert.
Yeah, it does.
And so he's playing it up for sure.
I saw a shot of Biden's crowd. Of course, there's all cars.
Yeah, I saw one of those.
And it looked like there might have been 50 cars there, I guess. You know, so there might have been 100 people, or you know, something. But at any rate, look at the buses. I guess they bust a bunch of people. Yeah, they did. That's right. That was a big scandal too, because some of the buses didn't have enough buses. They want them to get people back to their parking spot or something, and it was butt cold. Anyway, but here's the deal. I think I'm going to call. This is going to be a little artery. I'm going to call landslide.
Well, you already did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I called
for Trump, right?
And so it'll be over by 4 o'clock by Wednesday. There might be a couple of states outstanding, but he'll already be way past 270.
Way too many.
Yeah.
It could easily be that. Could easily be that either way, really. But it looks like Trump has the momentum going into...
Really, and that's what the big mo. That's what they always...
It's always been that.
It's always been that. That's right. He peaked too early.
Right.
He would have peaked later.
And 1 week makes the difference.
Absolutely.
You remember the Ross Perot thing? You remember what happened to Ross Perot? He had the mo, and then his daughter got married. His daughter got married the month before the election. Like in October, she got married. And he canceled his campaign, not suspended it. He called it off in order to quash the media circus that would have surrounded his daughter's wedding. So he called off his entire campaign for a week, and then he called it back on again. It was too late.
Too late.
He crushed the wave.
Crushed the mo.
And he ended up
still got 20%.
That's what I'm saying. With all the, if he had stayed in and told his daughter, look, go pound sand. You know, your love doesn't count. Get married a different day.
Get married the middle of November.
I know. Anything for Jesus Christ.
I mean, look,
the country needs you, babe.
Well, here's the deal. Ross was worth $1 billion.
Right.
Do you think he could have maybe found a different nice place in 30 days?
That's what I would have said. Look, we'll double it. Whatever you were planning on doing.
That's right.
We'll double it.
That's right.
But
you will now have a gold dress.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Trust
me, you will float into the place.
Right. That's right.
There, and they will throw diamonds instead of rice.
That's exactly
whatever
right.
it is.
Whatever it takes.
That's right. Whatever it takes. He could have won that walking away.
Yeah.
But it's always been that. We've said this whole time anything can happen, but at this point it's almost too late. I mean, barring like a Black Monday from hell in the stock market or something like that.
Well, the problem is 60% of the votes have already been cast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I mean, if it were close somewhere. But anyway, I'm with you. Oh, I mean, not with you on the. No. I think there's going to be at least one contested state that'll hold it up for about a week.
Okay.
But I think for sure that the Supreme Court, even if it's a horrible fiasco like Florida 2000, that the Supreme Court will resolve it before January 21st.
They have to. I mean, the simple fact is that they have a...
And everybody will take it on the chin, one way or the other.
Yeah, well, look, the way the law reads on the Electoral College is... the Electric College, is it's in December. December, they have to meet by December 9th. They have to cast the votes. I mean, they have to do it.
Yeah.
And barring, rogue people, but of course there's like 17 or 20 states that you have to do it with. If your state won, if your slate is in there, you have to vote for the guy.
Right. You're just the person that hands the thing over.
Right. Exactly.
Which what's your feeling on the whole Electoral College thing? Are you pro?
I'm pro Electoral College. Oh yeah. No, the simple fact is.
I mean, really, does it make any difference? I mean, I know it makes a difference, because of the states and the population. But I mean, wouldn't it just be the other guy, or you know what I mean?
It might be. It might be. The simple fact, though, however, here's the problem, if you want to call it that. Big cities tend to be liberal.
Sure. But
and so if you didn't have the Electoral College, we'd be Democrat forever. Demo class commie.
Maybe. I mean, there may be enough people leave the big cities that the population's outweighed.
And that's not the way it works, I don't think. I mean, not unless the Visigoths come in and take over. It's...
But voting, I mean, you don't get... What do you get? I saw somebody, they were talking about, no something without representation, and I'm thinking, what representation? Man?
Yeah, that's true.
You get to vote for a person, and then that person gets to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Well, of course,
and they're representing 300 million people or 175 million people.
Well, that's one of the big complaints, of course, is that the senators, for instance, a senator from Wyoming represents 1/5 or 1/10 as many as a senator.
But even so, even if you got the best, you're in Montana, and you're one of a mere 250,000 represented by your representative.
Yeah.
How representative is that?
True. That's true.
I mean, how many issues are there among 250,000 people?
250,000.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Lots of issues, yeah. Well,
it's just interesting because I had a big Twitter argument with some people this week about spending and about the way that the money works. But well, maybe we'll get into that in a minute. But
maybe we'll. Let me just go on here.
Sure.
I just thought this was interesting from a CNN opinion guy, and he says kept us out of the new and costly wars and brokered peace deals in the Middle East.
Oh, this is pro-Trump, right?
Pro-Trump. From CNN.
Yeah.
He believes our taxes should be lower, not higher. Signed in tax relief.
Well, only the explicit taxes. Obviously, with the money printing, he is insured.
That's true. Absolutely. No, we know that. No, there's no question.
I know.
When you run a $3 trillion...
Just fact checking here.
I know. No, I agree. The simple fact is that some people... Look, they give the money here, and they take it away over here. There's
well, and that's what the Twitter argument was about. The person on Twitter told me the private sector is irrelevant, and that the only thing that matters is what the Congress votes to spend money on. And they vote to spend money on something, and then that thing comes into creation, whether it's corporations or roads or business or whatever. And the rest of the private sector is just ancillary. And the only reason you have taxation is to take money out of the system if inflation gets too hot. And that's it. And that's the whole system. And they trust the people to run the system, apparently. Except that it's not working right now, they admitted. But apparently, maybe it will in the future or something.
If we get the right people.
That's right. If we get the right people. That's exactly what they said. Or if we
top men.
That's right. If we get top men there or AOC or whoever, and they tax the right people and give the proceeds to the right people, that is the poor or the needy or whoever else. But of course, that was my whole point, which is since you can't guarantee those people in those places, you effectively have a system that removes money from, in your own opinion, the poor and gives it to the rich. Because from their perspective, the corporations weren't getting taxed at all. And so, obviously, the libertarian argument is don't give them the power. If there's nobody who has that power, then that money isn't getting transferred around, But they don't trust the market at all, so...
They can not trust it all they want. The market's there whether they like it or not.
Well, no, I mean to have more power. In other words, to shift power away from the government. That was my argument. Look, if you take, you don't let them control the money supply, then it's controlled by the market somehow, and it's like language is controlled by just random chaos. Nobody.
Yeah, that's right. It's spontaneous.
Right, and so it would work, but anyway.
Well, we can talk about that a lot. No, I mean seriously, because that is one of the things that I think about that kind of stuff.
Well, we might be talking about that a lot if Biden wins and they institute a bunch of, like AOC introduced a bill this week for public banks.
Yeah, what was that? I didn't quite get that. I was reading what it was, and I'm trying to figure out how would that work. I mean, what is she going to do?
See, here's how it works in her mind. This is what I just learned. How it works is Congress votes to set up these banks to give people money for whatever reason.
Okay.
And then they do.
Now, these banks are separate from Wells Fargo?
Yes.
Okay, so they're going to compete with Wells Fargo?
Yes.
So Wells Fargo is going to go out of business?
Shh. Look, if you like your bank, you can keep your bank.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah, we know that.
All right?
Right. Yeah, that's
But if you want free money, you can apparently go to one of these banks, which obviously are set up to cater to people who can't get money in the regular market, which means no actuary, no bank would loan them money because they're a horrible credit risk. So basically it's charity. It's a UBI through the banks.
Yeah.
But from their perspective, that works just fine. And
UBI is Universal Basic Income.
That's right. And so
tell that to people.
Well, they know. Well, our audience, man, they're all
okay.
Over. So it was just, but that's literally the plan. Was you just give the money away? They just don't sense. What I'm getting at here is they have no sense of inflation. They have no sense. They feel like the inflation that if the Fed wants to, if the Congress wants to, they can just we'll just tamp that down now.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But as we know, it's more like a fire. Once that thing is lit, it sometimes, and very often, turns into a conflagration that you can't control and consumes everything, or a lot of shit. And so
it does. I mean, that history is, well, it'll be interesting to see if that comes to pass, what they're going to say. You know, like they said, well, you know, we've seen socialism and communism for decades and centuries, millennia, but they've never done it right.
That's right.
So when this falls apart, they just didn't do it right. You know, if they'd done it my way, you know.
Yeah, well, and I mean, they would obviously be apologists at the end of it. But
yeah, I don't know. They might just double down. Who knows? Okay,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did do it right, damn it.
Yeah. It was the stupid public that
that's right. That's right.
That's
you love your slave life.
If it wasn't for the damn consumers,
right.
We'd have made it.
They chose wrong.
That's it. They chose wrong. You know, be like that one in one of the. Ones with Harrison Ford where they're trying to choose the cup. You know.
Yeah, go for the shiny one.
That's right. Go for the. He chose poorly.
Whoops.
That's great.
Try again. All right.
So anyway, and despite his relative dovishness, he has invested in our military and men and women that we uniform. As a result, our enemies know that they're more than capable of finishing them off. And we did kill al-Baghdadi, blah, blah. He always talks about that. Yeah. Beyond that, Trump stands against the worst impulses of American left and the radicals who seek to banish from the public square those who dare to think differently. Heck, even the Girl Scouts deleted a tweet. And who was there? Was somebody else.
Dershowitz did a piece on that.
Well, not only that, but there was somebody else besides the Girl Scouts, another organization. That big organization that tweeted and then took it back.
Yeah, well, the Girl Scouts, I mean, the little girls.
Yeah, I know, but it's just the whole organization.
Can you imagine? Fold like a house of cards.
They were pilloried for it, which is just it's interesting because if you go to their webpage, there was another one and I went to their webpage.
How dare they support a strong woman?
Yeah, I know what it was. I'll tell you what it was. It was her sorority.
Oh, really?
Yes. Her sorority
took it back.
Disowned her.
Oh my God.
And said
what a bunch of boobs.
Right.
And we're going to have to get into the schools here very soon.
Well, it's interesting.
Very soon.
Yeah, because I just thought it was interesting. This is her sorority, and they disowned her, and I forget exactly how they did it, but I think they did it and then retracted it. And I would think, are you going to go to your sorority reunion now? I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, what you do is you show up and you peacock around there like the cock of the walk. And you let them know how successful your ass was.
I mean...
Look at this here. This is a survey of the term socialism among the various generations. We got Silent Gen over here on the right. And then Gen Z, all the way to Gen Z, the Zoomers on the left. And it's got 20...
Oh, is that what that is?
What?
I didn't know that. Gen Z is the Zoomers.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I should have known that.
Like boomers, but Zoomers.
I know.
Yeah, of course. And so now it's also got 2018, 2019, and 2020 here in black, blue, and red, respectively. So you can see... the favorability of socialism among the millennial crowd here is quite high. And the only good news is there's a little dip going into the Zoomers.
Okay.
So, but look, I mean, these are double or more the rates of the silent gen. That's you.
Right. Yeah, no. Soon to be silent.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately.
We're talking real silent.
That's right.
That's right. That's all right. We're going to make a hologram of you.
When I get done here, another couple of years, I'll be the daisy generator.
That's right. That's
pushing up daisies.
Well, we're going to make we're going to do like Scott wants to do of him, Scott Adams, which is we're going to make a hologram of you. As we've always said, your holographic tombstone, basically.
Yeah.
A compilation of all of your comments from thousands of hours.
Well, the beauty is you have a little AI in there, so you have people ask questions.
Right. And it just spits it right out. It's going to be good. So, So no problem. We won't need you anymore.
No, I know. Well, I did. Okay, well, go ahead and finish that. Okay, so that was that.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I did buy for Miss Jimmy. I got one of those an 8-ball kind of thing. Only it's all electronic, and it has like 40 or no, I don't know, not 40, 25 Trump's catchphrases or what in Trump's voice.
Right.
And when you shake it, his comes out with some little thing, whatever it is, like the only it's audio.
Okay.
It's cute. I just thought it was kind of cute.
Yeah.
They're selling those like hotcakes. It'd be interesting to see on some of this stuff how after on November 4th how the sales drop off on some of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, things will change most likely.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that her sorority and the Girl Scouts basically, and you're thinking
pussies.
I mean, yeah, really.
Seriously.
Yeah. What? Yes, we know that. You grab them by... Okay.
No, not that.
So, but it's just amazing. You got to ask yourself, of all the people that have ever been in that sorority, with Kappa Delta, or I forget which one it was.
She's probably the most successful.
Yeah, of all of them.
Right.
I mean, 1,000, whatever it is. And
there's been 110
justices. What you would do, I would think what you would do, is you would get a 9x12 or a large picture and put it on the wall, for God's sake.
Right over the fireplace.
I mean, seriously. This is who we are.
Congratulations, Amy. You rock. Remember that time we made out with Johnny and his brother? Oh, no.
I mean, it's just, to me, I'm stunned that this is what's happened to the higher education system.
Remember that time Brett Kavanaugh came over?
Yes. That's right. And now you get to see him every day.
That's right.
His room's right down the street.
Hey, that's perfect.
You can walk down there.
They can discuss cases together, like the abortion case. That's coming up.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I'm moving on.
Oh, speaking of the abortion case, I'm just going to throw this out here real quick.
Okay.
This, and like I said, I don't know if this is going to come up here in the States with everything, but they just had a ruling in Poland which changed the availability of abortion.
Okay.
The crowd is not happy.
Whoa, how'd they change it? You couldn't do it anymore?
Yeah,
okay.
They made it basically, now it's only rape and incest and life or health of the mother. They had, some other... there were some options for your choice before that. So
not anymore.
Yeah. So interesting. I mean, it's a pretty big place.
Well, not only that, it is interesting. You can see why the protesting goes for one reason or another. The fact is, my thing has always been the government should never be involved in that.
Exactly.
This is one of those things you don't. This is Ninth Amendment, whatever you want to call it.
Right. That's exactly what it is, because it's so personal to the people.
Absolutely.
The state, the federal government, has no interest in the unborn child. I know people say, well, it's the life of the creature. Not yet. And I know it's alive, but not necessarily. I mean, the protecting of the life thing, that's not a constitutional thing. That is to say, the Constitution says they can't deprive you of life without due process. It's not the federal government that's doing the abortion there, okay? And them allowing somebody else to do that is not the constitutional violation. So you can say it's a law enforcement issue if you want, but that's like giving a voice to the unborn child whom you can't interview or do anything about. Normally, that person's rights would be bound up with the mother's rights, the way a baby's is. When they come to do something to a baby, the mom gets to decide whether the baby goes here or there. All the rights associated with the baby are decided by the mom. And
when they're not. Except when they're not.
Well, these days, right.
Yeah,
these
days, right. You got
the federal government can come in and do whatever, a lot of stuff. And this is obviously, they can...
here's the deal, without going into great detail.
Yeah.
Because right now we just lost a bunch of people.
Look, no, we didn't. I mean, look, we didn't say anything too terrible. But, I mean, I think what you're arguing is that, well, at least what I would say is, it's such a divided issue.
It totally is.
You can't have a law against it.
That's right. You'll never... Nobody, no matter what you do, even if you step away, there's people going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think about is there are people, and we've seen this, where people will go if they feel so strongly that the mother is murdering a life form.
Right.
And so I'm going to kill the doctor.
Right.
And we've seen that.
Yeah.
Where they.
Yeah, but those are crazy people.
I know they are.
It's,
and again, it's one of those things that's inside. Unfortunately, this is a paradox. This is one of those things that is a true paradox. I think
it is very close to that from the standpoint of. I like your theory, obviously, which is there are no real paradoxes, but it's so dang close.
It's really close.
It's really impossible.
That's right.
And what you don't want is to make a one-size-fits-all rule when there are things like that are so divided.
Well, what they try and do, of course, as you know, they'll write 43 pages of ruling that tries to cover all the bases.
And in the case of what you
I mean, my God, you got to be kidding me. This is like baseball with 43 bases. That you
43 managers, probably.
Well, managers also. That's right. Okay. Well, anyway. Okay.
All right.
Moving along.
Yeah.
Psyche.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about this last week.
I know. But I just think that it's interesting. Did we mention that it was worth 10,000 quadrillion?
Yeah, because you talked about that. Not really.
Right.
As we said, as soon as that stuff shows up at the market,
you can imagine what was happening if it was made of gold.
Right. Same thing.
Same thing would happen, and that's what happened. A lot of people.
Well, that's what people's argument for Bitcoin is that we're eventually going to find one of these asteroids made of gold, and then gold will be worthless at that point.
Right. Well, in fact, that has happened before. One of the things that did happen...
The big mines and stuff.
Well, not only that, there was this huge inflation. Think about it. Spain, when they came to the New World, found gold.
Yeah.
And they shipped it all back to Spain. Of course, a lot of it's sitting out here off the coast.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, if you know where it is, you can go find it. But seriously,
that changed the whole gold market.
It did. It did. In fact, the prices went through the ceiling because the gold was in. When it went back to Spain, suddenly gold things in terms of gold the price went way up.
In terms of gold.
In terms of gold, right? Because there was an inflation of gold when they brought all that gold back to Spain.
Right.
That's what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
So and now look at Spain today.
Still valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's right.
Yeah. Well, you say look at Spain today, so I'm going to have to play yet another video here, real quick, which is this is Spain, and I guess this is a protest about the lockdown. It's the only thing I can think of. But this is a mob. This is a mob of people, and they're going to chase. Oops. The mob actually chases all these police people away.
Okay. Is this a scene out of V for Vendetta?
I mean, that's what it looks like. They're coming down the road, and the cop cars just we're out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 200 on 20, and the 20 have got cars, and they leave.
Yeah. What was I looking at the other day? As a matter of fact, there was a protest. Okay, forget it. Okay, so anyway, that's the deal. It's interesting. In 2022, NASA will send an unmanned spacecraft to find out about its composition, Psyche's composition.
Okay.
And I would, of course, one of the things I look at is the people, the rich people, Elon and Jeff Bezos and those people, they're the ones that ought to be,
They are.
Okay.
That's one of his main goals for sure.
Well, you think about it, of course, it is interesting. As you know, it takes however long it takes, a couple months to get to Mars.
Okay.
And but this is between Mars and Jupiter. So, we're talking about
another few months.
Another few months at least, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the asteroid belt, which it might be, but it's pretty good sized.
Well, that's
the asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
but still very close. I mean, relatively speaking, Jupiter's only not even a quarter of the way through the solar system, if you count Pluto as the end.
Really?
Yeah. Saturn is a quarter of the way.
No.
Yeah. Uranus is halfway to Pluto.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we got the spacewalk down there that I always run. So the middle pillar is Uranus, and then Saturn is way down at the other end.
Really?
Jupiter's west of the cut-through road where West Side Park is.
So that is okay. Well, you got me, surprised me, because I mean I see these things and they're all bunched together.
Well, right.
Seriously, whenever you see a picture of the solar system, they show it like
it looks like they're all in this equidistant, which is totally
which they're not. Okay. Okay, now comes the new fear.
Okay.
What do you think the fear is? It's coronavirus.
Oh, we're on COVID now?
COVID.
The new fear is...
cases break the...
Wave 2.
Huh?
The second wave.
Or third, I don't know. But I love this here. The headline is this. U.S. coronavirus cases break the global daily record, and experts warn it will only get worse. Thank you.
It'll only get worse.
It will only get worse.
Only worse.
And what's interesting is that Biden, his whole campaign is on the coronavirus.
Right.
And what?
Well, if he gets elected, the next day it'll be like, "We got it. That's it. You're good."
Again, you.
Or they could go
ask
the other
yourself,
way.
what?
You saw what Cuomo did this week.
No.
When you show up to New York now, you have to take a test.
Really?
Yep.
What if you're just driving across the bridge and
stick them right up the nose for you, buddy?
Really?
Yep.
Now, do they have the test right there on the side? Is this like the breathalyzer test right there?
Wait here till we get the test here, huh?
Okay.
You come down to the station and we'll test you later.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. I don't know. And then Michigan, you saw where now if you want to go to a bar or a restaurant, you have to have like the phone thing and the test, phone number, test so they can trace you, and your ID. You don't need that to vote.
No.
But
yeah,
you needed to go to a bar.
Yeah, right. The U.S. reported 99,000 new COVID cases on Friday, the highest single-day number of cases recorded for any country. The top 5 records in daily cases all occurred within 8 days, and an expert says he worries the upward trend will push hospitals past capacity. Well, hospitals past capacity. What does it mean, I wonder? I guess that means when they start turning people away?
Well, when they start calling other hospitals. But as we know, hospitals keep a pretty high percentage on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, they try to keep...
Right, you got to make money.
Exactly.
I mean, if you empty beds, you lose your butt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, look, that's a little bit of a boondoggle there. And nobody's talking about flattening the curve anymore. I think that they're just going to ride this out. I don't think, look, here's our chart of deaths going back 60 days now, every 10 days basically, except for right in the middle there, I messed up a little bit on October. But 60 days, you can see some of the deaths here. I mean, New York, you've got less than 600 deaths over the 60 days.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's, there you go, 10 a day, basically. And you've got, New Jersey here, the same kind of thing. Florida has the most at 6,000. Wow. So 100 a day. But if you think about it, okay, 6,000 deaths over 2 months, right? Mm-hmm. So there are 6 2-month periods throughout the year, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so that's 36,000 deaths in that for if you extrapolate that time period over the whole next year. Mm-hmm. Weren't we told that the flu deaths were about 35,000? I guess it's nationwide though. So that's in Florida, though. We would have, if that number kept going, we would have the same number of deaths in Florida that normally we would expect from the regular flu nationwide. But that would be extrapolating. That's it. That's if it kept going over the rate over the last. Well, 2 months.
Yes, they've also said that the flu has dropped to near zero.
Yeah, I've seen reports of that. I don't know. I mean,
Well, these tests, I mean, the tests are kind of problematic anyway. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Let me go here and say Friday, let's see, Friday's number surpassed the previous daily record held by India, which is, they reported 98,000 in a single day on September 17th. As of Saturday evening, there were 72,000 across the U.S. Cases, and so forth. So the thing about it is, what about the deaths, number one? This is the thing, they don't report deaths.
Well, that's what we just talked about.
Yeah. The total number has reached at 9.1 million, and the death toll has reached 230,000 as of Saturday.
Yeah, nationwide.
230,000.
Yeah. If you like you said, if you
nationwide, right?
Whatever.
So anyway, here's Dr. Jonathan Reiner says the 100,000 cases yesterday, 2 weeks from now, will start to translate into massive numbers of deaths. He's a professor of medicine at George Washington University, told CNN. So we're going to see what not just passes continue to escalate, but we're going to see perhaps 2,000 deaths per day 2 or 3 weeks from now. So come back in 2 or 3 weeks and we'll see. I mean, I'll save this.
Well, if these infections follow the same pattern as the ones before, but I think there's at least 2 factors that are different. One is, I think the median age of this group is lower, which means fatality would be much lower. And second, our treatment has improved substantially.
Yeah.
So that would also mitigate the deaths. Now look, here's one thing. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm sorry if this sounds insensitive, but we have a cure from the standpoint of how to deal with this virus.
Tell me.
It's well, we've been talking about. Fortunately, I made a graph.
Okay.
I didn't think I was gonna have to make this graph because when I first made it, I thought that thing is so stupid and simple, you don't even need to do it. But I went ahead and did it because apparently people haven't figured it out yet. And so here it is. I'm gonna show you how to survive COVID. It's very simple. Okay. This is the graph. Okay. This circle is everyone, and here's the vulnerable. All right. And if you're in the vulnerable category, you stay away from the rest of the people. That's it. That's the whole plan, okay? And here's why. You can't count on anything else. People talking about a vaccine, we may never get a vaccine.
Yeah.
We've never had a coronavirus vaccine until now. So remember they get one.
And it may mutate.
Or, exactly, that's another possible thing. Or people may not get the vaccine. Or, I mean, there's a million different variables. And here's the thing.
Well,
if you die,
a million sounds a little...
Well, okay, 3. If you get the coronavirus, imagine this scenario. And you die, okay, and you go to heaven, okay, stipulate that there's heaven and that there's your loved ones show up with angel wings or whatever. They show up and they go, hey, what are you doing? It's not your time yet. Why did you let yourself get killed? Are you going to say, well, Donnie said I could go outside?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You don't get to blame anybody else. St. Peter's standing right there, okay? He's got the book. He said, nope, you went outside. That's basically what's going to happen, okay? They're going to say, it's your fault because you were the one with the life at the time.
Well, anyway, but there's some good news on that because he gets to meet James Bond.
There you go. Sean and I.
That's right, we're buds.
That's right. He's coming with me, right? I'm going with him. So anyway, that's it. That's how you survive. The vulnerable stay away. Everybody else does what they're going to do.
Well, of course, they're talking about this, that you know, your carrier, you know, your little grandchild, your 2-year-old grandchild.
So stay away from them too.
Well,
that's the whole point.
I know, but
you don't get the right to tell other people what to do just because you think you're vulnerable. You can't. Your neighbors are not responsible for your health in any regard. And so, you know, if you go out, people say, oh, well, you know, if you go out and you die in a car accident, you can't get blamed. You can't blame, oh, the other people, they hit me in the car. No, look, if you would have stayed at home, you wouldn't have died that day. That's just all there is to it. So it's always on you. You're responsible. Personal responsibility. So 2-year-old, 3-year-old. Nobody said that you have the right to see your 2-year-old. The list of stuff, I got the list of stuff that you're owed. Here, it's on this next page. There it is.
That's what you're owed. Okay,
good. The whole list is what reality owes you.
Yeah.
So get over it. Sorry. Suck it up. Move on. Next.
Well, our little local tyrants here are still, you know, they're still, you know, the signs are in there. You must have masks. Blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there thinking,
everybody's responsible for everybody else in their minds, and you know, it's like, look, when you get to that level, then all of a sudden it's okay to sentence people to go to church because you can't have anybody getting out of control in you know, in society. So
Spotify says it won't bar guests after Joe Rogan hosts Alex Jones.
Yeah.
So he called them out basically.
Did you watch it?
Have not finised it. No.
No. Did you watch some of it though?
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
I was surprised that Jones had. I mean, his conclusions are a little wonky, but he had information. Every time they fact checked him, every time he would say something wacky, Joe would fact check him, and there would come back a news story. I mean, not that you can believe the news stories, but like the David Gergen interview. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's an interview with Alex Jones interviewing David Gergen about the freaking whack job Bohemian Groves thing.
Okay.
You don't know about this?
No.
Oh, this is the funniest thing. This is Alex Jones' like home run ball.
Okay.
The reason he's on the map is because he corners David Gergen. You know who he is, obviously.
Yeah, he
was a presidential advisor for a long time. If you saw his face, you'd know exactly.
No, yeah, he's been around forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A Reagan advisor. This was decades ago that this happened. He corners Gergen, like in Hollywood or somewhere, and he starts questioning him about this ritual that Jones somehow weaseled into in California, in this place where these grown men dress up in weird outfits and like burn effigies and like they do this like
a Moose Club initiation.
Exactly, exactly. Like the Moose Club
initiation.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the weirdest one you can think of.
Horns.
Exactly. The horns, Moloch, and everything. Okay. And Jones and Gergen doesn't just laugh it off or anything. Gergen doesn't say, "Listen, I hear what you're saying. That's a bunch of bullshit." You know?
Yeah.
Like, get a life, Alex. You know? No, he says, "You were trespassing." And he says, "You shouldn't have been there. That's not your business," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, unless Gergen is in on some kind of a setup, it totally looks like he got busted right then.
Deep state.
Seriously. And not only that, but apparently all the people at this big ceremony were all, it was like Ronald Reagan and Hollywood elites and other people, and who knows,
Bilderberg or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
And who knows what they
Davos.
did. Like I said, maybe they all had it was a Halloween costume the whole time or something, but
Gergen should have mentioned that.
that's what I'm saying. It would have been an easy one. "Oh, sorry, bud. Did you know that was October 31st?"
Yeah, right.
I mean, hey, I don't mean to break it to you, but April 1st was the party date. But no. And so Jones had more information that was right than I was comfortable with, really.
Yeah.
Now, his, like I said, the conclusions were okay, but just interesting.
Still no reason to kick him off.
No, certainly not.
This was crazy. It's, everybody knows who he. It's the same thing. When Trump got elected, for instance, everybody knew who he was.
Right.
This grab you pussy, whatever it was.
Exactly.
I'm still voting. We know who he is.
Well, and here's the other,
and same with Jones.
The words don't hurt you.
No.
Trump. Like if you go down the list of Trump's worst things, half of them are things he said. In people's mind, okay? Here's the thing. We have a standard in the West, okay? Freedom of speech. And the whole thing relies, your entire ability to share ideas relies on the concept that you can share the ideas. And you have to be able to share the bad ones to know which ones are the bad ones.
Right.
So you have to be able to share offensive, horrifying ideas like, should we blow up the earth? No. Okay, shared it, we talked about it, so, okay. You have to be able to do that in order to figure out what the good ideas are. And this actually has come up in broader spectrum across the globe this week with another attack in France.
Yes.
Another beheading because of the fucking cartoon that they and some idiot loses his mind, and then Trudeau comes out and endorses that whole thing. Did you see that?
No.
Trudeau says, "Oh, speech has consequences."
Yeah.
Like, not beheading consequences.
No.
I mean, dude, it has consequences like you might get slapped, okay? But it doesn't have consequences like, Scotland is considering imposing a hate speech law, with arrest, and that kind of stuff.
So they're going back to the fire in a crowded theater business.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the civil law has figured this whole thing out. Right?
Yeah.
If somebody insults you and you think it's harmed you, you can sue them. And if you can prove the harm in court, okay. But one of the defenses, good luck. And one of the defenses is truth. Okay? So if they can prove what they said is true, then there is no liability. And that's the way it always should be. And obviously, all political speech should be judged under that. With the concept
well, of course, the thing about political speech is that's a pack of lies.
Well, right. Yeah. Right away, when you put the word political in the front of it.
Right away, it's
otherwise you don't need that word.
No.
But still, I can't believe that the people are considering changing. The free speech has just been impeded since then, since the original Russian letters, and then the stupid fire in a crowded theater ruling, and now we're getting into hate speech in Canada, the UK, and now Scotland.
Yeah.
And it's just everybody needs to put the brakes on that. We all live by the standard we teach our kids. which is sticks and stones,
Right.
la 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 la, and nothing else hurts you. And and it has to be that way because that's the actual way that it is. If somebody comes up to you, one of the former Prime Minister of Malaysia came out today and said, you can't just walk up to somebody and insult them. Yeah, you can. Yeah, because you know what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. That's it. That's what we teach our kids. You walk away from that. It doesn't affect you in any real world way. And like I said, if it did, you could sue them and blah, blah, blah. But to start arresting people and beheading them, no.
Yeah, beheading seems a little strong.
It's way...
Anyway, the Spotify, I thought it was interesting. Spotify basically backed off.
As well they should.
As well they should. They said they wouldn't prevent podcasts from having particular guests on, and said Spotify
barred
him in 2018, but they said they're not going to do it now on Jones.
Good.
Okay. Well, the email did not mention Jones by name and instructed managers on how to respond to questions and so forth, according to BuzzFeed. If a member has concerns about any piece of content on our platform, you can report it to the Trust and Safety, because they're the experts on our team charged with reviewing content, said Horacio.
We are the experts on
That's right.
offensiveness.
However, it's important that they aren't simply flagging a piece of content just because they have read it online. It's all too common that those things are taken out of context. So, and I'm glad to see that Spotify basically has given Joe Rogan carte blanche.
Green light.
That's
buddy.
right. Green
hey,
light.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you can have.
We got these employees, man.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Good.
Okay. Speaking of, here we are. Another
And kudos to Joe for doing the show with
Yeah,
Alex.
boy, isn't that great? Yeah, and that's great. Here's another scare tactic.
Okay.
Two people who attended Trump's rally in North Carolina have tested positive coronavirus.
That's it. I heard way more than that. I mean, I heard like dozens or tens or like I heard Trump's killed 700 people from his rallies.
No, that was another one.
Okay.
But anyway, the point is, two people have tested positive. The Gaston County Health and Human Services Department said in a statement that the two positive cases involving individuals attending the recent campaign. The department stressed that the cases not thought to be an indication of spread from the rally at this time, but rather two independent cases among individuals who happened to be in attendance. And I'm sitting there thinking, "What? This is clickbait from hell, is what this is. This is scary. This
every
is what
piece of news out there right now. I mean, did you notice? I mean, the headlines were like, "Black man arrested for walking." I mean, Trump concedes in his back bedroom. I mean, the headlines.
It's right out. It's right out of the Inquirer.
Totally.
I mean, that's what the press has become, the Inquirer.
Yeah.
I mean, these blazing headlines across, and Jesus, I mean,
and they're crazy. Like, what else did I see? A man sentenced for killing police dog to 30 years, and then you click on it and it's like, no. Then there were the other charges like burglary and a kidnapping and whatever. There's like, I mean, the whole laptop thing. I saw Biden questions Trump mental acuity. I see Jordan Klepper attends silent Trump rally. I mean, just every Amazon and Netflix tax cheats, everything you can imagine coming out right now, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I did see a Democratic ad fail that I thought was kind of funny.
Really?
They had it was almost a clever ad. They had a traffic jam in some apparent like African nation or something, and there was like a dusty road in the outback, and a whole bunch of cars were jacked up because there was a big rhinoceros in the road. Mm-hmm. And the rhinoceros was labeled Republicans, and then the cars were labeled healthcare and justice, racial justice, and COVID relief and things like that. But the problem is that the Republican wasn't an elephant; it was a rhino.
Yeah, right. A Republican in name only.
That's it. It's like, dude, you missed. I was so close.
Yeah.
And I mean, they could have been any other animal. But anyway, I thought that was funny.
Let's see hardest point. Yes, because Daily High. Where I got that one. We're not worried. I thought it was interesting. The latest surge in cases appears to be driven by patients with no symptoms.
Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. It's younger people with no symptoms.
It's silent epidemic. It's asymptomatic. COVID-19 infections is moving among 12 to 30-year-olds and then making the jump to older people. So for these people...
well, that's only if the old people get around the young people.
Right, yeah. And here's another... I haven't done the math on this. Baltimore Health Commissioner Dr. Lena Wen said Friday, we have one American dying of coronavirus every 2 minutes, and that number is increasing. So... I don't know. So if it doubles, does that mean instead of, I mean, are there going to be
everyone call me when it's a catastrophe?
Yeah, that's right. Call me when it gets. Okay, the next thing I've got, the last thing I've got here, right as we get there to the end. This is the headline was, foreign election interference: is the U.S. prepared? After the 2016 presidential election, major investigations were launched to understand the extent of Russia's efforts to affect the outcome. And of course, we found it was nothing burger. The question of how much impact, if any, Russian meddling had on the result is a matter of debate, but intelligence officials, of course, which is, oxymoron, have linked the Russian actors to a sprawling influence campaign that included hacks of the Democratic Party.
Is more.
With the goal of helping Donald Trump. And of course, I'm wondering, why are they helping Donald Trump? I mean, is Donald Trump a friend?
No, and you're not wondering that, because you know that news, that entire article is disinformation from the get-go.
Sanctions and criminal charges for dozens of Russian nationals that resulted from those investigations haven't been enough to deter Moscow.
Yeah, resulted from those investigations, but still had nothing to do with with Trump or the election.
And now China and Iran have also sought to meddle in the election.
Although they did sanction that one group in Russia. But still, look, here's the thing. I don't even think that the Democrats are going to go with that particular theory this time around. I think that horse got pretty well beat to death. I mean,
beat to death.
It did. Look, there's so many other ones. You could go with anything else.
Well, they're pulling out 90% of what they're doing is COVID.
Right. And why not? Go with that. Unless the AI told you people fear Russia, go with the Russia. I can't see. I mean, there are so many other things to go with. I think. I mean, they've been ginning up the white supremacy thing for.
And of course, they got the 545 children that can't find their parents.
Yeah, there's
children in cages.
Yeah, but I mean, it's slim pickings.
Slim pickings.
Yeah.
Now, I was thinking about that when you said something the other day. When you talked about the Dusty Rhodes, there was a guy named Dusty Rhodes, a singer, and then Slim Pickens. Yeah, remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
He was in. Slim Pickens was in.
Your favorite Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Oh my God. Oh, what?
So okay, I got a couple of things real quick.
Okay, real quick. Yeah.
Did you notice we might have seen a top in the market?
Yeah, what was that?
September 2nd.
Really?
We got kind of a top, and we've going to be going down ever since.
Okay.
There was a little spike.
I didn't know that.
Yep, and I know, and I checked it out, and I saw some firm also wrote some op-ed about that they think that it's in, and the top's been in, and they're positioning for the change and shorten things.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, of course, what might happen to mitigate that would be when they come back on November 9th, if there's an outcry for more Covo help, and they pass a multi-trillion dollar thing, that money's going to go in the market.
That's right. They could have taken the top could have come in when they got the final word that there was not going to be stimulus before the election.
That's true. So, you're right. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll keep looking at that. Bitcoin hit 14,000 on Saturday.
Really? Because it had tanked a little bit.
Yeah.
And people were calling, that's it, we've hit it now, And now
14 on Saturday.
Okay.
So interesting.
I didn't even check on gold and silver.
Yeah, well, they're still a little down. I mean, not quite at their tops from a few months back. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, I showed you the thing about the schools thing. Oh, real quick. In This Week in Criminal Justice, dangerous felon Lori Loughlin finally imprisoned
Okay, right.
Right.
It's for trying to get her kid into school.
Yes.
Okay.
God, can you
and how long is she in for?
What was she thinking?
Yeah, what were you thinking? You criminal. You hardened criminal person.
I mean, there's cruelty.
Yeah.
And then there's what she did.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, she's going to be doing hard time.
Hard time. Break those rocks.
That's it.
Get in there. Yeah,
hard
take this
time.
hammer, baby.
That's it. How long is she in for? Did you say?
I think it was. Now I can't remember if she was the one who got 30. One of them got 30 days, and one of them was going to get a few months.
Okay.
But in Hollywood, that's a few weeks.
Okay, right.
So they kick you out of Hollywood jail. It's like Hollywood jail is like fake jail too.
What is interesting when you think
you
about
get back in the jail cell.
Yeah.
Behind the line. Behind the
line. There was a Jim Garner thing on Support Your Local Sheriff where they hadn't put the bars on the.
Right.
And so he sprinkled some ketchup on the floor.
Right. Yeah, that was the last guy.
That was the last guy to come out of there. It's interesting when you think about the horrible things that people do. I mean, Martha Stewart, for God's sake, she was in for a year.
Crazy. Can you imagine? We wasted a year of Martha Stewart's life as a society.
Fortunately, she has done very well since.
Well, she's a trooper, man.
I mean, well, not only that.
She's an American
Have you ever read her biography? She really is a smart chick.
No, I know. Like I said, American treasure as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, totally.
So, and a babe too. So, real quick with some international news. Did you see these pictures out of Paris here? When Paris was getting ready to do their lockdown?
I might have seen. No, don't
check
remember.
this out real quick. Just so here, just so you see this. This is the traffic jam from hell. This makes the 405
Jesus
look like a nice little party.
And that's because what now?
Because of the lockdowns.
So they're obviously not being locked down. I can't see the thing.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to move you out of the way here. Well, they're.
I love drones.
Oh man, this is from somebody's balcony.
Oh, okay.
But still, I mean, just amazing.
Well, because they did. We talked about this on our last show that the Macron or whatever was, instituted.
They did a 9 o'clock lockdown.
Right.
Kitty's like, show's over.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's 5:01, Kitty. You're right.
Okay.
You're a cat.
And then, as we go out here, you saw Boris did his lockdown also, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they're locking down for another month in the UK. A month. Solid lockdown. And you can't you can't go anywhere unless you're going to work or your essential services or to buy something. There's no leisure travel at all in Britain for the next month. The Twitter Brits are freaking out.
Well, I would imagine. I mean, can you imagine what the coastline is looking like where people go vacation or something?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It was just bizarro that he's doing that. So anyway, and then,
one guy can do that.
Yeah, crazy. And then also in international news, which we need to talk about at some point, is 59 bodies discovered in Mexico. They still have a big drug war problem down there.
Yeah, they do.
So, anyway, thanks Kevin MacLeod for these tracks. Thanks everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll be back in a few days after the election. If the Earth is still on this axis.
That's right. If we're not spinning towards the sun.
That's it. Did you hit the button? Biden hit the presidential button. Who knows? So, we'll see you soon. And
please share this with somebody.
Somebody share this video.
Yeah.
For the love of God. Oh yeah, here, if you're gonna share something, share this this Bitcoin deposit QR. Here, send us a Bitcoin. We'll take it.
Just one.
That's right. Yeah, you said it, kitty.
Look at that cat.
All right, see you soon.